that's where the growth comes, is when you want to quit and you want to give up. I think you have to overcome that, and I think jiu-jitsu is a great way to practice that. My name's Sakurai, and I've been doing jiu-jitsu roughly about 5 years. I started doing kickboxing first, and I'd stay a little bit later after class and watch the guys roll, and I thought, oh, it looks kind of interesting. And I started at Apex, and luckily enough, I had Marcy was one of the female instructors and owners, and she kind of coaxed me into saying, I'll be your partner, don't be scared, and she gave me a really good first experience, and I got hooked ever since. So yeah, I love it. I'd say being comfortable with fear. I think that people get intimidated, and when you first start rolling with a lot of bigger guys and people sweating on you, I know that fear and anxiety come into play, and I think being more comfortable and just being confident and calm and having a safe space in order to practice those emotions, I think was one of the hardest things, and what probably stops women from coming. And also having other female training partners make it a little bit more comfortable. But overall, it's just the culture of the gym, and making everybody feel welcome is I think, very important. Just be open-minded and be okay with not being perfect and not being great at something right away. Just being okay with just sucking at something, and eventually you'll get better. And watching yourself progress, I think, has been a huge motivator for me, is just sticking to something and then eventually seeing yourself get better. And I think a big part of it is I've worked out my whole life and I've ran, but there hasn't really been any other sport that allows me to actually play with fear and actually play with those types of emotions. Like there's nothing that actually brings you in the moment more than jiu-jitsu. It makes you forget about everything else in your life, because when someone's on top of you and attacking you, your focus is that moment. And I think there's so many other sports where you don't have that ability to turn your brain off and you're constantly thinking about other things. So yeah, I just really appreciate how I can really just be there. I think it's important to have a women's only class to encourage more women to do jiu-jitsu, because if there's more women doing jiu-jitsu, more women will do jiu-jitsu. I think that less women would quit if they went to a class and they all saw other women doing it, and normalizing that is so important to me. I mean, Emily Kwok has been a huge influence to me. Listening to her podcasts, watching her progress in her career has kept me in jiu-jitsu as well, because I think it's important to be in jiu-jitsu so more women do jiu-jitsu. But one thing I learned is that you have the ability to say no. If you don't want to roll with someone, or if someone's making you feel uncomfortable, I feel like in the beginning of my path of jiu-jitsu, I just rolled with everybody. I let people ransack me, kind of hurt me, and a lot of times I was scared to roll with them because they weren't great training partners. And I learned that I can say no now, and it's okay to say no. And I think a lot of women are afraid to say, no, I don't feel comfortable, or maybe there's an ego thing, or maybe they feel bad, but you can always choose not to roll with somebody and let them know that they're making you feel uncomfortable. Some guys don't even know that they're going too hard on you, and you can tell them. I think that there's no shame in just not feeling comfortable in a situation and not rolling with somebody. Yeah.
Way of BJJ.